I'm Carol Pate. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. We have some relatively important news, we hope.
Yes, we would like to discuss, we know that there have been some audio issues, so tonight we have found a way, I think, to work around those temporarily. However, if you are using headphones or earbuds, it might be in mono instead of stereo. Please let us know if you can hear everything tonight, and if you can, we'll be in stereo next time. Thank you.
Thank you. We've been having all these problems with hearing me speak. I'm so sorry about it. We're trying to work this through. I think we're going to get some more equipment. Maybe that'll help. I'm hoping. Anyway, I wanted to talk tonight about spiritual tools. And what do I mean by spiritual tools? Well, these are things that we can use to protect ourselves and to guard ourselves. And these are things that I have learned throughout my life that my guides have taught me. I didn't learn them from other people. I did learn this from my guides, and they work. One of the major things was one of the first things that they taught me was about the silver egg. And this is an egg shape that goes around your body. It's mirrored on the outside with Christed light on the inside. And that's for protection when you're out there in areas that maybe there's a lot of bad energies, bad stuff going on. It gives you protection from the dark side. It gives you protection even from spirit attachments to a major degree. And I have used it when I needed to be protected, like cemeteries, funeral homes, that sort of thing. Also from negative energies, people that are sending negative energies, which sometimes people do. You might get somebody that's mad at you, and they might send you negative energy in the form of like a damnation. And what happens is it seems to almost bounce off the egg, which is really kind of interesting. The other is what I call a golden bubble. And this is literally a bubble that goes around you, or you can even put it over your house or your car. This gives you, it's going to sound strange, but almost like invisibility. It comes in really handy. Well, example, I was in Chicago, and I was in kind of a rough area of Chicago, and I was walking by myself, and it was at night, and there were, I don't know if it was a gang, a group of guys, and I had a really bad feeling in my solar plexus, so I just put a golden bubble around me, like immediately, and it's like they just walked on by, they went away, they didn't bother me. I also use it when I speed.
A lot?
I don't speed a lot. Just a little, okay? Just a little. But if I'm like really trying to get somewhere and I want to get there without maybe the police giving me a ticket, I place a golden bubble around my car, myself. But there's something you have to understand. When you're doing this, other people, it's almost like they have an aversion to look at you. So it can be a little bit dangerous. So I only keep it on for a very short period of time, and then I remove it. Now, how do I put the silver egg or the golden bubble? There's two ways you can do it. One is you can visualize, literally visualize, putting the silver egg from the bottom up around you, and it being mirrored on the outside, or silver on the outside, and with Christed white light on the inside. The golden bubble, you visualize it in your mind, either around you, around your house, like if there's burglaries or robberies happening. If you'll put the golden bubble around your house, it gives you protection to some degree. I don't even know to literally what degree. I used it one time when there was a lady that came to me because she was really scared because the man that she was living with had beat her, and she got away from him, and so she came to my house, and he was looking for her, and she'd been to my house before, and I put the golden bubble around the house, and he couldn't find my house, and he'd been to my house before. He simply couldn't find my house. He called me wanting to know what was wrong because he couldn't find my house. I said, you won't find my house, go home. So I know it works. Now with the golden bubble, you can visualize it, or you can ask the Band of Mercy. Now this is as you've been working with the Band of Mercy for a while, or your guides, to place the golden bubble around you. Now the golden bubble, once it's placed around you, will last for 12 hours. The silver egg will last for 12 hours as well. All these things last for approximately 12 hours unless you have it removed. You can ask it to be removed, or you can visualize it going away. Either way. Some people are good at visualizations. Some aren't. I am. Of course, the cornelian bracelet. I learned about this when I went to Japan. I filmed there for about 14, 15 days, and I went with another psychic, and he was a very good psychic, but he had the tendency to pull energy from other people around him to gain his psychic abilities or to make them stronger. And my guides told me to wear cornelian because with the cornelian, he couldn't take my energies. Now, there wasn't originally a bracelet. It was originally a solid cornelian ring. And I wore it on my middle finger.
A band.
A band, yes. And I got 3 of them. They told me to get 3. And it ended up I had to have one for me and one for the medium that I took with me and one for my interpreter because he tried to get energy from all 3 of us. And he couldn't do it as long as I had that band on, and they had those bands on as well. But you didn't do very good psychic work, I might add, after that, or during that trip. Later I found out that I could use a cornelian bracelet, that it would work as well. Now I use it for what I call psychic vampires. These are people that come over to your house and they dump all of their misery on you and all of their problems on you, and they go bouncing out the door and you feel like a limp dishcloth, okay? Because they drained all of your energy. If you have the cornelian on your left arm, they can't do that. They can't get your energy. I also use it for when I go to Walmart or Kroger's or any of those places because when I get in like stores with a lot of people, I tend to be drained down by them, and I pick up their energies as well. So if I'm wearing my bracelet, I can go in and shop and walk out the door and I'm fine. I feel just fine. Otherwise, it's almost like you have to pour me out the door because I'm completely, totally drained. By the way, if you can't or you don't have a cornelian bracelet or a ring, you can take a piece of saran wrap or plastic wrap, take a square about that big, put it on your solar plexus. It will protect you the same way. You might want to wet it before you stick it to your skin, but it does work. It also works for babies with colic. If you take the saran wrap and put a little piece over their solar plexus, when they're sick at their stomach or they're colicky, it seems to help that a great deal, which is kind of neat to know. What's happened is they've hit some negative energy. It's disrupted in their solar plexus and makes for the colic. Okay? Just little tips, things to know. There's another bubble which is pink. Now this is bubblegum pink. And this bubble is to soothe people who are normally ill-tempered or angry. And the pink bubble is a bubble of love. It's the energy of love. And what you do is you visualize it around the person, and it calms them down. And again, it stays for about 12 hours. And they become really, really nice, okay? Great for bosses, especially upset bosses. And it's something if you need calming, and things are happening around you, like you're going through a lot of storm stuff in your life, you can put a pink bubble around you as well, and it will give you that bliss, that peacefulness, and that will help as well. So things to know that can help you. Now another thing that you can do is, let's say you're really, really stressed and you've had a stressful day. If you'll come home, draw a bath, and put about 1/3 cup iodized table salt. Now I'm talking table salt, like Cost Cutters, Morton's cooking salt. 1/3 cup in the bath water. Make sure you get it from head to toe, especially in through here in the back of the head. It will help. It will, you can literally feel the stress leaving your body. And it also cleanses your auric field as well, which is really kind of nice. And you don't have to sit in it for any period of time. And once you've done, you just go ahead and take your bath normally, soap, bubble bath, whatever you choose, you're fine.
And what if you don't have a bathtub?
If you don't have a bathtub, you get a bucket, pretty good sized bucket, okay? And I'd put about 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 of a cup of iodized table salt in that with warm water. Warm, you don't want to do cold. And as you start your shower, go ahead and shower and then pour it over you, and it'll do the same thing for you, and it works. And just go ahead and take a normal shower as you normally would. Other things that can help you is the ammonite pendant. Can you grab one of those ammonite pendants from over there, please? Thank you. Thank you. This is called an ammonite, which is millions of years old. It's a fossil. And for some reason, it heightens psychic abilities. I know that sounds strange, but it really does seem to work. It works for me. I've got good psychic abilities, but there are days that my psychic abilities are kind of like really high and kind of go down a little bit, and then they go really high. This keeps it at that higher level nearly all the time. And it's pretty, and these are relatively inexpensive. I think they're around $16 with the chain.
$15.99. Yep, 16.
Yeah, $16. Little tricks, little things that you can do that help you, that can keep you safe. There's another thing that you can use. I met a man one time. He came to my house. I had a New Year's Eve party, and he was attracted to me. He had an ability where he could, like, psychically, how do I put it, make contact with you, like step out and touch you, make contact with you. Yeah, it was a strong ability. I never met anyone.
Psychically could do that.
Yeah, astrally, I believe. I believe he did it astrally. And what my guides told me to do was, they told me to take a metal garage door in my mind and slam it shut between us as hard as I possibly could. Which I did. And I didn't feel it anymore. I didn't have the problem. I heard back about a year later from his girlfriend that he told her that he had reached out to me and that he got knocked on his keister. And that's what it was that did it. So it gave me verification that what I did worked. But if you have somebody that's reaching out to you or trying to do any kind of control, mind control, and there are people that do have those capabilities. Also psychic vampirism. If you have somebody that, and you don't have your bracelet on or your ring on or the plastic on, you can visualize a heavy metal garage door slamming shut between you, and it'll put a stop to it. You'll only have to do it twice. That's all you'll ever have to do it. They'll never do it again. Just little things to know. Do we have any questions?
Well, I wanted to bring up on the cornelian bracelet, what if you're left-handed?
I'm not really positive on that, and
You
I'd
told
like to
us
get
that
some
before.
feedback on it. But I tried the other arm to see if it made a difference.
My left-handed husband wears it on his right.
Does it work on your right arm? He doesn't know.
Well, aren't you, regardless
You-
of what
well-
left or right, aren't you always going to be receiving on the left?
I think so. I
Yeah.
really do.
You had just told us that one night. You didn't remember though.
Oh, well, then it may be true. Then I would try it both ways. I'd try it on the left arm first. And then if you go into Walmart, put it on. If you can walk out and you're fine, it worked. And if you feel like you have to crawl out, then put it on your right arm and try it that way and see if that makes a difference. I'd like some feedback on that.
And also the bracelet needs, if you get a bracelet, the stones have to touch.
Yes. It's what's known as a power bracelet. The stones have to touch. There can't be other stones in between it, or it just doesn't work. It's stone to stone,
Or not.
or not, yeah.
Okay. Is there a certain way to ask your guides to put the golden bubble around you?
I would please ask my guys to place a golden bubble around me in the name of Jesus Christ, and I thank thee. Yes,
Just as simple.
always simple.
Now, I know on a personal note that you have taught me to use a silver bubble around my mother who has dementia. And instead of filling it with Christed light, we filled it with pink light.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain why?
Her mother has dementia, and the silver egg keeps her from being bothered by entities, because when I say entities, I mean spirits, and even the dark side, because they can do tormenting, and it gives protection. That the pink light is the love light, and it keeps her calmer. It calms her down. You might just try to do the pink bubble filled with pink light and see what happens with that.
How often would you need to put that in place? Would that be every 12
Yeah,
hours
every
that
12
you would do that?
hours.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's every 12 hours.
And after the lifting. You told me I have to do it after the lifting.
It also works with barking dogs. It seems to work well with barking dogs.
Does it have to be your dog?
No, just neighborhood barking dogs.
You can put a pink bubble around them?
No. You ask that pink bubbles be placed around them in the name of Jesus Christ. And it's nothing harmful. It brings peacefulness. Unless there's something like really, really bad out there.
A while back, this person says a while back that you had said something about we would begin to lose some of our free will.
No.
I don't remember that,
No, I
but
didn't say that. I said that years ago, we didn't have as much free will as we do now. We have actually gotten back more free will than we ever really had before, because a lot of things were fated. They were put into place, and you couldn't hardly change that. Now you have more free will, you have more choice. So, no. you
In
don't.
all areas.
In all areas, everything, yes.
Asking again what the bracelet's called.
Cornelian, this
And-
is cornelian.
And all of the stones that you work with are on your website,
Yes,
carolpate.com. And it gives explanations on how to use many of those.
and what they're for. Each stone has its own characteristics, its own gifts to give you, its own protection. I think stones are absolutely amazing. Some can heal, some can, example, and I may have talked about this before, but I went to a rock and mineral show, and they had slivers of a meteorite, and it was beautiful, it was absolutely gorgeous. And I went over and I went, that is so neat. And I touched that meteorite, and oh my God, I couldn't stand up. I flat could not stand up. They had to get me a chair, cause I couldn't function. I lost my capability. It just, I don't know what it's like, made me super lightheaded and weak. And this lady that was there, she said, here, hold this, it'll stabilize you. It was hematite. Immediately, it stabilized me and I was okay. Now, in the future, if you ever go to a gym and rock show, do not touch a meteorite, okay? And if you do go to a gym and mineral show, make sure that you bring with you a hematite, or at least a hematite bracelet, because those energies at those shows can really mess you up. It messes me up.
And it has to be genuine hematite.
Yes, and there's only one kind.
Well, you
I
can.
know what you're saying.
Why does it have to be iodized table salt?
That's a good question. Apparently it goes back to the covenant of salt that God made with David. It's in the Bible. That all things that are to be offered up unto God are to be offered with a measure of salt. And apparently the salt that they used was iodized. Natural.
Is the salt bath also used for cleansing chakras and auras?
Salt bath, you can't cleanse your chakras. I mean, you can open your chakras, you can't cleanse your chakras. You can cleanse your auric field, but yes, the salt water does cleanse the auric field. If you want to open your chakras, the best way to do that is with the smoky crystal. They actually clear and open the chakras. You have to start at the root and work your way up. I'll have to talk about that.
Do you want to talk about any of the other stones?
So,
I have something here. This person says, what about the evil eye? A lot of Europeans say certain words and it goes straight away. What would you recommend?
I've been in Egypt, and I remember that I was at like Casbah, you know, where you had all those roads that you went through and everybody had their wares out there. And there was this man that went past me and he was hooded with a robe, and I felt something hit my heart chakra from the back, real hard. And what I did was I had the band of mercy to remove whatever had been sent to me immediately in the name of Jesus Christ. And I put a silver egg around me filled with Christed white light. That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Now, I don't know the power of the evil eye.
I don't either. What if you cannot wear the beads on your left arm for some reason, physical reason or other issue?
Won't do any good. Then if you can't do it that way, then you're gonna have to use the plastic wrap on the solar plexus. That'll work the same. Works the same.
She was commenting on when she's typing all day at work, on the computer all day.
I would get the ring the piece of cornelian. It's a
Band.
solid piece of, it's a band of cornelian. Thank you. It's a band of cornelian. Wear it on the middle finger with the left hand, and it'll work the same.
I would recommend they might want to buy a backup because I had one and they break very easily. I broke mine doing dishes, so she might want to get a backup if she's going to do the band.
Don't do dishes with the
Well, yeah, I
cornelian.
figured that out after I broke mine.
Well, let me tell you something. Rock shops, you can buy cornelian bands at rock shops. They're $1.99, or at least that's what they are. They may be $2.99 now, but they used to be $1.99. They're very inexpensive.
I got mine for like $4 at the Hoover Dam, so.
Oh wow, you
Yeah.
paid. Wow.
Well, it was the Hoover Dam souvenir shop, so.
I hope it was a thick one.
It was.
Okay. That works.
If you tend to have a variety of negative characters coming into your thoughts, mostly at night, is this some type of past life connection, or are you just picking up on things around you?
Sounds to me like she's got something attached. When people have spirits attached to them, at night as you're trying to go to sleep, very often you will see their faces go across your mind screen. I found that to be relatively common. And what she needs to do is go ahead and start doing the lifting on a daily basis, and it should stop that.
Do you know anything about a white bubble?
No.
Okay. Someone was saying that they had used a white bubble, but they need to change it to gold. They're asking.
A white bubble for what?
Driving down 630.
Better turn it to gold.
That's what she asked. Turn
Yeah.
it to gold.
Gold, it's golden, like the color of gold. Don't leave it on there for a very long period of time.
Asking about the knot again on the cornelian bracelet. The ones that Carol has here, the knot, it does not go between the beads.
No, they're clean. On some of them I do have that extra bead, but that's fine, it's cornelian. It's safe.
On the other stones that you do have on your website, right now I know that there's a lot of people who are in isolation because of COVID, and something that can be used is the blue goldstone.
Oh, okay, there's two things actually. Angel light, I really like the angel light, which is a light blue. It's this light blue, it's pretty. And what it does is, I call it my bliss stone, okay? This one's a little bit larger. And they're very, very positive, and this is,
Blue goldstone.
yeah, the blue gold stone. It's like glittery, it looks like glitter. This keeps you from having depression, the midnight of the soul, and it pulls you out of depression and makes you feel better. It lifts that from you. The angel light, I think working in conjunction or with the blue goldstone would be really nice combination, because the angel light just makes you feel at one with God and peaceful.
Is there a stone that you can use for protection?
Protection from what?
From spirits?
No. Sorry,
So what can you use for protection of spirits in your home?
nothing. Other than, the only thing that I know of that you can, well, if you've worked with the Band of Mercy for a while, you can have them put into place a floating sanctuary around your house and property, or around you. And this can last up to 2, possibly 3 months, depending. But you ask, the way you do it is, I would please ask the Band of Mercy to place a floating sanctuary around me, my house, my property, all I have authority over now, and that it be perpetually cleansed and that I be shielded and protected from all going in, while they're in, and as they leave. And I ask all this to be done in the name of Jesus Christ, and I thank thee. That can help. That's after you've developed some spiritual seniority with the community. They will work with you. The silver egg helps to some degree with spirits attaching to you, and the demonic messing with you as well. But you're not allowed to do it all the time. Why? Because you have lessons to learn, and all of this is a part of the teaching that you go through while you are on this earth plane, in this material world. There are things that push you into learning more. And what I've learned is, the more discomfort you're in, the more you're going to try to push to get it over with, and to learn what's causing it and how to stop it. Sorry, that's just the way it is.
A question about if you have any knowledge of, did Jesus, when he was on earth, come in contact with different stones? Was there anything about him using any stones?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Can you damage your chakras
Yes.
by healing session?
You can damage your chakras with a car wreck. They can actually damage your chakras. Injuries can damage your chakras. Real intense traumas can damage your chakras or block your chakras. Doing Kundalini and not knowing what you're doing can blow your chakras out, which is real dangerous.
Do you want to explain what your chakras are?
They're breaker boxes. Your chakras are breaker boxes for your electrical system for your entire body. Okay? If you blow your breaker box, then you can blow out that entire system, depending upon where it's located. Okay? I had a man that came to see me that had gotten into, everyone is doing, let's do Kundalini, let's try it. And he opened up, but when he did, he blew some of his breaker boxes and chakras, and he couldn't function. It took him about 5 years to get himself to where he could function again. He was really messed up. So I'd be really, really cautious with Kundalini stuff. Now, I know they get into all this thing about oils for opening up your chakras. I'm sorry, I haven't found any oils that open up your chakras. I have found that the smoky quartz, surprisingly enough, and it can be irradiated, or it can be natural smoky quartz, which is irradiated as well. When placed on the chakra, opens it, and it like unblocks it. That's probably a better way of putting it. It opens it, it unblocks it, and opens it. And then you move from the root all the way up. You can take a smoky crystal bracelet, as a matter of fact, and you can take it like that and put it on the chakras and move them up. The weird thing about it is, when the chakra's blocked and you go to move the smoky quartz, it's almost like it's magnetized to the chakra because it's not finished opening it or cleansing it yet. So it kind of almost stick.
It won't move.
It'll move, but you feel kind of a magnetic stick to it. So you leave it there until that is no longer there, then you move it up to your next chakra.
And you cannot hurt yourself using the smoky
You can't
quartz.
hurt yourself. Yeah, it's safe. That's a safe tool.
Is there anything that you can recommend for someone that is not in a house necessarily, but maybe a multi-family building such as apartment complex, condo, as far as protecting themselves against dark energy, where you said to place the bubble around your house?
I place it on the inside of an apartment.
Or condo, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, whatever it happened to be. Yeah.
Around the outer edges of the inside?
I just have a place within the apartment,
Okay.
around the apartment, within the apartment. Or you can even have it put, you can have them put it around the apartment.
Okay.
It'll work. No problem, I just heard it.
Question about citrine.
Yeah.
Is it good for attracting money for business?
No, citrine is a balancer. Citrine is your solar plexus, it's the color yellow. It brings into effect balance, that's what it's for. It's a balancer.
And most of the stones, the color correlates with
With the chakras.
of what they do. Do you have a shop I can order those bracelets?
I do, right here. Carol Pate Psychic Center, area code 501-888-8056.
888-8046.
Yeah.
Can you do protection on your kids, or do you need their permission from them even if they're adults?
You can do protection for your children up until the age of 13. Then you have to get their permission.
Once they turn 13.
Yeah, once they turn 13, on their birthday, yes.
But what about the picture in the Bible that you told me about? If you're worried about your children, there is something you can do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's true. Yes, you can do that. You can take their photographs. Hang on. You can take their photographs, put them in the 91st Psalms of the Bible, place a wooden or silver cross on top of it, close the Bible. That gives them protection. But you can take other stones, like, really.
Carol's getting information right now, guys, so just bear with her
Yeah,
for
I'm gonna
just a
adjust the
second.
camera while we're doing this.
Sorry, but you can take stones and put them on their pictures if they need the help, such as watermelon tourmaline, which works well with helping with cancer. Taking a piece of watermelon tourmaline, putting it on the photograph, and that also works. Very good.
Difficult to find watermelon tourmaline.
It is very expensive too, I might add, but it's well worth it to have it. But you may notice that it may absolutely drain it from all of its color. The thing is, when you use stones, after a while, they die, and they lose their color. And that's why you have to get new ones.
But that's what they're here for.
That's what they're here for, yes. Rose quartz. Rose quartz, considered love, but actually rose quartz help with lungs. They really help with the healing of lungs and easing one's breathing. When my husband had COPD, I had him wear rose quartz because it helped him. But after about 2 months, the rose quartz would die and turn white and shrink. You wouldn't think that a stone can die and shrink, but they can. They do.
Because it has conscience.
Everything has consciousness. Everything.
Again, regarding spirits in your house, just the lifting.
The lifting. That's all you need.
They don't need you to come clear them.
No.
And how often should the lifting be done?
Can pardon?
How often should they be doing the lifting if they have an active house?
It says
At
daily
least once a
lifting.
day.
You do it on a daily basis.
Right.
You do it in the morning, you do it at night, whatever you choose. Daily lifting, every 24 hours.
Labradorite, I was just told. Labradorite.
Labradorite worn on the heart chakra gives positive aggressiveness. It works really well with people that are non-aggressive, don't know how to stand up for themselves. You give them a labradorite to wear on the heart chakra, they'll start saying the word no and standing. I use it especially for women and men that get beat up by their spouse.
Abused.
Abuse and beat up by their spouse. And I've had them come back in a month later and they were different human beings. Of course, they divorced their spouse.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
And if you don't need the labradorite, what can happen? So
If you don't what?
If you're not in need of the labradorite?
Do not wear it, no, don't touch it even. If you're an aggressive personality already, when I say aggressive, I mean outgoing, okay? You say what you think. If you even touch a labradorite, sometimes it can, like,
Burn you? It feels
electrical, burn you,
Yeah.
yeah, depending. And I had one lady that she put it on as a necklace and it exploded. But she was very, very
Outgoing.
controlling. Yeah. So you have to be really cautious. There was another gal, she just got the stone, she wore it in her bra. And she had become meek, but she turned completely around and it literally shrunk and started going into powder.
Or turning white. They'll turn
Yeah,
white
they
and
turn
then.
white and they get powdery or break apart. They start breaking apart.
Back to chakras, how do you know if you have one that is damaged?
Usually you will have problems with your nervous system at the location of the chakra, whether it be the heart and also like your root chakra, which would be affecting the sexual organs and the legs.
Hips, legs, all that, yeah.
Or your sacral, which would be affecting your intestines, a lot of intestinal problems, and on up. I would recommend getting the book Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, because it gets into the spine and each one of the vertebrae and how it affects you. And then it doesn't get into the chakras, but you can match it up with the spine, and that gives you a really good idea. I don't know if you can see it or not, of how it works. There's no gloss on this, so it should be.
Yeah, that's good.
I love the book. I use the book a lot.
I do too, it's a great book.
I have one at my house. I have one here. I have one that I keep in my suitcase. if
And I
travel.
downloaded one because mine kept disappearing.
That's a great idea too. So yes, it really, really helps. But it's Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. She's passed now. Wonderful woman. Wonderful.
You were also showing that on when we were talking about tapping before.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that another
Okay.
time.
If your house is a portal for spirits and somehow you're not able to move out, will doing the daily lifting help remove the portal?
Well, it depends. Because the portal may be a piece of furniture. Might be a mirror, might be a vortex on your property. The lifting will definitely help. I mean, there's no doubt. It will really, really help. There is a formula on my website, Vortex in Jaw,
And jaw.
that can be used, that can close the portal.
If you go to carolpate.com and type in vortex or vortices, I believe it takes
Yes.
you to that.
And you can use that, but now that's working, getting your seniority
Yeah,
up.
pretty advanced.
It's advanced, yeah.
What does Inja mean?
It's the name of God. It's one of it's the vortice's name through God. It's the hang on, let me ask. It's the arc of it's the archangel of vortices. That's the name of the archangel of the vortices.
Inja.
Inja.
Right.
Vortex Inja. Yes.
Okay. A big question.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that's going on right now, do you see that possibly the end could be coming anytime soon? The end of the world is what
No.
they're talking about.
Of Jesus coming back.
Jesus coming back.
I wish. No, I don't. And I'm sorry, but no man will know the time.
He told us that.
Yeah, no man will know the time. So, I know it would be nice and easy and it would take all of our troubles away, and it's pretty scary out there, but no, it's not the end of the world.
So God wants us to pick up our toys and start acting right ourselves and don't make him come down here, right?
Yes, sorry.
Wants to know if you meditate.
Pardon?
Do you meditate?
I contemplate. I have some meditations that my guides have given me, but what I prefer to do is I like opening up my Bible and reading a chapter. I do this at random, reading the full chapter and seeing how it applies in my life, or if there's any messages there for me. Then I ask my guides, are there any messages within this chapter for me? What do I need to pay attention to? And I start conversing with my guides, and I start asking them questions. A lot of people think that guides will automatically just speak to you, especially when you first get started with trying to get in contact with your guides. It doesn't really work that way. You really need to take that time and contemplate spiritual questions to pose to your guides so that they can begin to work with you. So I try to do that on not a super regular basis, but a semi-regular basis. The meditations that they gave me was simply for getting me to master my mind so that I could keep my mind within the meditation for longer and longer periods of time so that I could master my mind. That's what meditation for me was about. Now I've done some healing meditations where I've worked with green light with other people and with myself. I don't do that so much now, but I used to do it early on, where I would visualize green light going into an area where there was pain to heal the pain. Meditation is very good for training your mind and training you in visualizations. That's what it's about for me.
Okay. Kind of a broad question, but and I'm not sure in what context, but what is the best way to learn to trust yourself or your soul?
You are your soul. If you want to use your psychic abilities, you have to be able to learn to trust yourself. You have to. You just simply have to. I trust what I get. I trust my psychic abilities. I trust my soul 100%. I go with it 100% because in truth it's never been wrong. I've never been wrong, and it's not an opinion that I'm talking about. I'm talking about that feeling and the knowing that you get. You have to go with it. Now, I will tell you this, if you've got a bunch of chatter in your head, you can't do that because you've got all this stuff going on in your head. You've got spirits attached to you. You've got their opinions, what they want to do. So until you clear yourself of all of that, then that's when you learn to just go with what you get and trust it 100%. Then your psychic abilities will grow and expand and get better.
Do milky quartz give any type of protection, like in landscaping or that type of thing, or quartz?
If you program it.
Explain.
Milky quartz, yeah, it's got electricity in it for one thing. It's made of compressed water. You can program any quartz crystal. Mind you, I said quartz crystal. Well, it'd be milky or clear. And I don't know if I've got that on my website or not, how to do it.
To program it.
I don't know.
I do have a question about that. My house actually sits on top of like tons of all different types of crystals, mostly smoky quartz and some rose. What could I do with those to benefit?
Well, let me tell you something. more than likely they're alright unless there's been some really bad things that have happened on your property, in which case it can pervert the quartz itself and make it release energies that are not good. Alright? You want to be able to cleanse quartz. How to cleanse quartz? Let's do that, number one. You take quartz and you put it in iodized table salt and water. Okay? And you cleanse it like 24 hours up to 72 hours. It will take all negativity out of the quartz. I don't care what the negativity is. It'll remove the negativity
And
from
if
it.
they're huge boulders halfway in the ground, just salt water on top of them?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, I would say so. Yeah. So that keeps them, that will allow them to do what they need to do in the positive. Because quartz in its natural state is in the positive, unless it's been perverted by really bad energies.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, can you wear too many crystals? I'm thinking they're stones they're talking
Yes.
about. And
if
do
you-
some conflict with others?
Yes, you don't want to wear a whole armful of bracelets. You really don't, because then that creates what's called synergies, and those synergies can counteract what they're supposed to be used for. So you want to use what, like if you're going to go to the store, put on your cornelian. What you want to put on over here is not too bad, but I only wear 2 to 3 bracelets tops. You can wear too many. And you can mess yourself up. You can make yourself lightheaded.
And smoky quartz helps the cornelian.
Yeah, I like working the smoky quartz with the cornelian, because smoky quartz, it kind of soaks in any negative energies and doesn't let it pass through to you. So you're kind of protecting yourself what's coming to you, and your cornelian's protecting you from what's leaving you, like your energy.
Asking about shungite as a healing stone.
Ah, shungite. I'm not overly familiar with shungite. I only met shungite a couple of years ago, which I think they're just really, really neat. This is shungite pyramid. They come out of Russia. There's only one place in Russia that they actually come out of, and they do have electrical energy in them. And they work for healing. So, if you've got a place where you've been hurting, you take it, you put it to the area, and it'll get really cold. That's my natural shungites. Yeah. I've got them like a pyramid that I've got the pieces. But now with the pieces, you can use one pyramid, but with the pieces, you have to use 2. If you use one, it makes you lightheaded, makes you dizzy. It's like if you use 2, then you're balanced.
Yeah, otherwise.
Yeah, you can fall over. So you, like, if you have a problem with your knee, you put one on one side and one on the other side. And what it does is it helps to remove pain, and it helps the healing processes.
And you found that out when your husband was sick.
Yeah, when my husband, before he passed, he had horrible leg pain. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Something to remind me of. And he would put one on either side, but in the groin area, and it removed the pain. It eased the pain for him. That's how I found out it worked. After I got dizzy off holding one. Thanks.
When you're charging crystals,
Yeah.
does it help to do it during a full moon?
No.
Since they're water?
No,
Okay.
no, all that's nonsense.
Can you recharge any other types of stones?
You know, I don't know for sure. I really don't know for sure. I know you can, the crystals, you can cleanse the crystals, because they have lattice work within the structure of the crystal that actually holds information. They said, I remember one time I was told that they could hold the entire Library of Congress in a single crystal, which is amazing. So they can be programmed, they can hold energy, and the deprogramming is through the salt water. You can clear them that way, that's the only way I know of. Smoky crystals, you can use the iodized table salt and water to clear them. I had a situation where I had a friend of mine, and she and her mother and sister lived together in this small apartment, and they fought a lot. And I mean, a lot. It was really loud, and she had a cluster, that's many points, of a smoky crystal, and they got into one of these fights, and the crystal literally, I was there when it happened, exploded. Absolutely exploded. It got so filled up with the negativity, it just blew up, literally. So periodically, it's a wise idea to take crystal bracelets even, or smoky crystals, and put them in iodized table salt and water for about 24 hours, just to take the negativity, cleanse them.
Would you recommend doing that if you're saying using the rose quartz for a chest cold? Would you need to clean it in between?
I don't know, you could try it. Let me know.
Okay.
Try it out there, let me know.
Okay.
Give me feedback.
After reading about bracelets on your website, this person started wearing a few of them, but on the left arm, but removes them while sleeping or when at home. Do they need to wear them all the time?
No. What the cornelian, I keep one in my car, okay? That way, when I go out, I've forgotten my cornelian bracelet. I've got one in my car, I slide it on. When I get home, I take it off, I put it back in my car. I don't have anyone at my house to drain my energy, so I don't wear the cornelian at all around the house. This is the only one that you really have to wear on the left arm. Although if you're wearing a smoky crystal, it's advisable to wear it on the left arm as well. I don't recommend you wearing them all the time. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for you. But use them as necessary. Use them, they are your tools. Use them as tools.
If you have someone come to your house that you think you need to wear it?
If they're a psychic vampire, you know, slip it on at your house. When they leave, take it off. And it's not recommended to take showers or baths in them.
It made me think of something else. He said that he tries to also keep these other stones close to him while he's sleeping, to keep them close, but you do that with the sandalwood.
You can do that with sandalwood. Sandalwood, the demonic can't abide sandalwood. So it's not a bad idea to have it next to you, or even on you while you're sleeping. It's okay. If you're in that type of situation. Not many people, though, have demonic attacks, so, fortunately. But there are some of us that do.
Someone would like to know, does it matter if you can't pronounce the lifting words? I'm assuming we're talking about the names of God all correctly.
No, it doesn't really matter.
I would also like to point out that if you go to how to pronounce and type in the word, it will take you on Google searches and teach you how to pronounce the names correctly if you wanted to, make sure
And
you
I'm
were
on
doing
there also doing the lifting live,
it. Yes.
so they can hear how to
Oh,
pronounce.
that's true. They could just
On the
play back.
website.
Yeah, they could listen back.
Yeah,
Because those are names of God.
those are the names
Yes.
of God, yes.
This person says that they have lung issues and since mid-20s, and lungs are getting worse. If they wear the rose quartz, do they wear it around their neck? Where does it need to be worn?
I'd wear it around my neck, yes.
As close to the lungs as
Yes,
possible.
I would. I had a client, he had crystallized lungs. He worked with chemicals. And he started wearing the rose quartz in his pockets. And they helped.
Okay, so just having it on him.
On the pocket or in a shirt pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, just having it on his person helps.
A stone for postpartum depression, would the blue
I would do the,
gold stone?
yeah, I'd do the blue, I'd go to my doctor first, I'm sorry, but I would. Go to the doctor first, and then I would use the blue gold stone along with the angel light.
What are safe? What are safe everybody stones that anyone can use?
Anyone.
Safe for everyone,
Anyone.
except for
The labradorite.
the labradorite.
Yeah, you can't, not everyone can do the labradorite, no. No, that
Are
was,
there any other stones? I think that's what they're getting at.
No.
Are there any others like that that you know of?
meteorite.
The meteorite for you,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, for anyone.
For anyone,
The
okay.
next time when I went to the gym and mineral, they had them behind glass doors, and they wouldn't let you just touch them.
Because people were touching them and getting woo-woo feelings
Yeah.
in their head. Yeah,
I wasn't the only one, I'm sure.
I'm sure you weren't.
What are signs of a vortex on your property?
For me, when I hit a vortex energy, I literally want to turn in a circle. That's what it makes me feel like. I mean, I have this feeling to turn in a circle. Now, I don't know how it affects other people.
It makes me feel like the room is spinning and I can almost feel air pushing past my face, but I don't think it would be that way for a normal person. Maybe if you're continuously doing the lifting and getting new hauntings all the time, like in mass, that might mean you have a
It would be an
vortex.
uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Vortexes are uncomfortable
Yeah.
feeling,
You'd have a creepy feeling
Yeah.
around it.
so.
But you would get that feeling, that physical feeling of wanting to turn in a circle because of the motion of the
Vortex,
vortex itself? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like a funnel, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
it-
Or a whirlpool.
Well, it's like your chakra. Your chakra's a vortex.
Mhm.
It can open and close.
Mm-hmm.
You have, the earth has natural vortices, okay?
Mhm.
So it's a natural process. Everything has vortices. But there are vortices or vortexes that have been tainted and used for rituals and that sort of thing. Those are what you want closed down.
Mhm.
And the vortex energy can do that.
At carolpate.com,
Yeah.
look under vortex.
And does a portal feel anything like a vortex?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
What does a portal feel like?
I don't know how to express it. I know that when I worked with Dr. Jordan, who was kind of like a mentor for me for a number of years, he studied me more than anything else. He had a mirror, it was a very large mirror that he had on the wall that was a portal. So I walked up and I put my hand on the mirror like so. He took a photograph of me, and there was a bookcase over here, and I put my hand on the mirror like so here. And when we got the photograph, it was a Polaroid. You could see through me, and you could see the books through me.
Mm. Whoa.
That's kind of crazy.
It was a little creepy.
So what happened, do you think, at that point when the picture was taken?
I think that because of the portal part, I think it was dimensional. And I think by me touching it, it sort of made me dimensional as well,
Wow, okay.
which is why you could see through me.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
yeah. Just a frame of you that was left there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an imprint.
That was my impression.
Asking about Louise Hay type of work, it's that she went over each bone in the spine you were showing, about individual fingers. Yes, she goes over many body parts.
Yes.
Not every body part, but most body parts
Yes.
are listed in her book
Yes.
to help. Is there something cosmic going on December 21st of 2020 that you know of?
Not to my knowledge. Because there's always something going on out there. I mean, this is a pretty busy little universe. This is just this galaxy. We're pretty busy.
Is there any particular stone that would help for self-confidence?
Labradorite.
Labradorite.
Awesome. Awesome for self-confidence.
Red light therapy. Know anything about it? Is it any good?
I really don't have, I don't know. I have my doubts. Let me put it to you that way.
There's those infrared saunas that have come about the last few years.
And beds too.
In bed.
What are signs that you have a spirit attachment?
We have to get in my book. That's a good question. Basically, if all of a sudden you have a phobia out of nowhere, that's sign of spirit possession. If suddenly you are wearing nothing but gray, black, and brown, that's usually a sign of possession. Suddenly you don't feel like you. You don't feel right. You just don't feel like you. That's usually spirit possession. If everyone starts noticing that you are reacting differently, you're not your normal self, that's usually spirit possession. If you're suddenly having panic attacks, that's definitely spirit possession. If you're suddenly craving drugs or alcohol, usually spirit possession or a really bad day. When you start changing from your personal wants and needs and your personality shifts, it's probably spirit possession. Extreme temper, extreme reaction, or the reverse, to where all of a sudden you're pulled in and you're retreating. Spirit possession.
Carol, what about if you have something that happened back in the past, say several years ago, that you just can't let go of, and that's not like you to hold on to grudges like that? And I'm asking this because one of the viewers tonight actually asked me this question this week. Would that be an attachment, something that you normally could let go of, but it doesn't seem that you...
It's one of two things. It's either a spirit attachment or a past life situation that has repeated itself,
Okay.
that she needs to get to the root of.
Okay. All right. And that, because we talked about doing the lifting to help with if she had the attachment.
It's easiest.
Then to do, if it was a past life thing, then the
Okay.
kinesiology to find out what it's about and then help release
Yes.
that. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is a very good question for right now that people need to know.
Okay.
Can entities come through our electronics, such as computers,
Yes.
cell phones, iPads,
Yes.
gaming systems?
Yes.
The lights.
Yes.
Yes. Your car.
Yes. I'm sorry, but there are, and they do, and that's what the Integral Band of Mercy is for.
And is that on your website yet?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, the Integral Band of Mercy. I would please ask the Integral Band of Mercy to remove anything that's attached, affecting, or influencing me, or all I have authority over now, in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ. And either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them. And I thank thee. It works.
Good for your children who are
Yes.
online a lot?
Yes, I've gotten contact with parents where their children have gotten hooked into these sites, and they're pedophiles that are using these sites. And these children are addicted to the sites. And I've used the Integral Band of Mercy, and it works. Gambling. People that have gotten addicted with gambling. on
Online
those sites.
gambling.
Yeah, online. Integral Band of Mercy. There's all kinds of stuff out there, demonic stuff, that is using our technology.
This is not Carol's advice, but my advice is be careful about YouTube rabbit holes that you go down, because I've gotten attachments through watching some YouTube stuff. So just be careful out there.
Oh, it's
And pay
treacherous.
attention to what your children are watching.
Yes.
Yes. Don't just here, go play with the computer. Take your laptop, take your tablet. No.
Carol, in the lifting, can you say on the first one, when you say I'd ask the Band of Mercy, can you say I ask the Band of Mercy and the Integral Band of Mercy
No.
too? Okay, those have to be
It's a
two
separate
separate
verse.
things. Okay,
You have to be respected.
okay.
It'd be nice if we could shorten all this, but they said no. I already asked.
It is 9:11.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
If
any
you-
questions that were not gotten to tonight, Carol and a member of the Team Carol
I'm
will
not saying that
answer
we've still,
all questions
we've
that
still
we
got
can.
about 60 people, and if you want to keep going, I'm cool. I was just telling you what time it was.
And there will be a lifting
Do
at
we
the end
have,
too.
do we still have questions?
There's a lot of
There's a
questions.
lot, like,
Well, let's do a little bit more.
okay.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Does being spiritual and doing spiritual practices like chanting sincerely and open you up to any type of portal to attract spirits?
Can. I personally don't do any of that. I try to live my life spiritually. I try to make the best choices, the best decisions that I can on a daily basis. I give thanks every day. I don't psych myself with chants or prayers or other than the daily lifting. I don't do any of that. I try to be a spiritual human being on a daily basis, and I slide. I have my lower self and I have my spiritual higher self. And Carol can attest to that. Every once in a while my little lower self comes out and says, hey. And I go, okay, higher self, fix this.
Sometimes though, if you're really walking a righteous path, that could make you possibly come under more spiritual attack.
If you stayed in your lower self, yeah, definitely. I won't allow myself to do that. I allow myself to be human because I'm not perfect, nor do I expect to become perfect or I wouldn't be here, okay? That's not the purpose of being here. We're not here to gain perfection. We're here to learn lessons to help us along the course of our path. That's what we're here for. So, but if you want to psych yourself using that, that's fine, but I would be a little bit cautious because there you can get on a website that teaches you how to do this chant or that chant, and it might open you up to God only knows what. You don't know what you're chanting to. You may not even know what the chants are. I'd be cautious.
When cleansing your stones, do you need to do them individually or can you put them in
No,
together?
you don't have to. I go crystal digging. I haven't done it in a long time, but I like to go crystal digging because we've got this wonderful area where you can go crystal mining and get all the crystals you want, you know, for, what is it, $10 a day or $20 a day. So what I do is, when I've got this big old tub, okay? I put salt water in there, and I take all of my crystals and I put them in there and I cleanse them. Because I have learned that you get one crystal that's not been cleansed, they can make you really sick. I mean, nauseated, sick. So you can cleanse them all together, not a problem.
Okay, is there anything other than cornelian that they can wear when they have someone such as a family member who is really sucking their energy?
Now, cornelian will do it.
And
You might want to
smoky,
do two.
and smoky with it, right?
Yeah, I do. But the cornelian, really, two cornelians are really awesome. The smoky won't stop him from taking your energy. It
Doesn't
just
it
stops.
enhance the cornelian?
No, what it does is it stops you from picking up the negative energies around you. It's like the smoky soaks all that up for you, blocks it for you. Don't wear a whole arm bracelet, so it's uncomfortable.
I just put the smoky with my carnelians.
Yeah,
Cool. I didn't know about I mean, I knew smoky did that, but I've never heard it explained that way when you said carnelian and smoky. Well
Someone
done.
was asking about the bracelets and the knot. No, you cannot have the knot between the
no, you don't
stones
want
on a
them. They
cornelian.
need to be touching. They all need to be touching. Now, if you get a itty bitty knot where they can touch, it's all right. But they do have to be able to touch.
Have to be a small knot.
Yeah.
We got one that says, do you know anything about doppelgangers?
Doppelgangers.
Doppelgangers?
A little bit, not a whole lot. The doppelganger is kind of like German for your twin spirit. It's like, it's your other you. And I've had people that have said, and I've seen stories about them where they've seen their doppelganger. If you see your doppelganger, it means you're going to die. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't have that much knowledge about them. I didn't study them that much.
Asking about in a court case, family court, are there any stones that she can wear to court to protect herself and her children from the judge's behavior?
No.
Would a lifting help?
I would ask for Divine Spirits of Justice, which is on my website. I'd ask for Divine Spirits of Justice to intercede for me with my case, dealing with whomever it happens to be, and with the judge, and to do whatever is deemed appropriate. And if it's for like mean reasons, I would say for because of egregious, and if they're like treacherous, nefarious actions.
And do you want to give the warning on that?
Yeah, if you call in Divine Spirits of Justice and you're not in the right place, and maybe you haven't done the right things, they'll get you. They will do justice, whether it be for you or against you. So make sure that you're in a righteous place before you call in Divine Spirits of Justice to intercede for you.
Asking about doing the daily lifting with permission for their adult children. Can they keep doing it?
No, you can only do the lifting a couple of 3 times for them, depending. But then they have to take personal responsibility. The thing is with spiritual anything, you have to take personal responsibility. It'd be wonderful if we could just spiritually take care of our husbands, our wives, our children, our grandchildren. It doesn't work that way. You have to take personal responsibility. So you have to teach them, or at least offer it to them. If they don't choose to do it, then you've done what you could do. Because if you continue doing the lifting, nothing will happen. It's simply nothing will happen.
Also, the integral band of mercy, it's the same thing.
Well, as with all bands of mercy, absolutely.
What about for your spouse that lives with you to protect yourself?
Yes, you can if you are living with somebody who is, but you have to get their permission once a year and they won't do it for themselves, and they cause you a lot of disruption. You are allowed to do the lifting on them if you're living directly with them. Yes.
Carol, just back on the doppelganger, someone's asking, what were you saying that if someone sees their doppelganger, what it means?
It's my I don't know if it's true. It's my understanding that if you see your doppelganger, that it means death for you. I don't know if this is true or not. It's a myth, as far as I know.
Okay.
And I also want to remind everyone that Carol will not be answering personal questions such as that cannot be generalized, not specific to you. And but you surely can contact her to get an appointment for a reading.
Thank you. Yes.
And at the end of this, you will be doing the lifting they were asking.
Yes.
And what about obsidian, the stone?
Obsidian depends on which kind.
There's several.
Yes, there are several. Obsidian, interestingly enough, it works really well for the protection of technologies such as computers.
Black obsidian?
A black obsidian, just plain black obsidian. When I work with a computer, which I can do now because they're based in plastic instead of metal, before I just kill them. I can work with black obsidian, and it will keep me from doing any damage to the computer, because when I work, I have electromagnetic energy that goes out. But snowflake obsidian is supposed to, it tells me it's supposed to protect you from like witchcraft. That sort of thing.
And there's also brown obsidian. There's many, and green obsidian, and
They're
they
all
each
different.
have their
And
own.
I haven't worked with all of them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you something, there's not a lot of true information out there about stones, which is really shocking to me, because you think there would be. I met a man years ago, matter of fact, when I was hunting crystals, I met him, and he was extremely knowledgeable about stones, and everything he said was true. It was absolute truth, and he taught me a fair amount about stones. But he got really paranoid. He had this fear that the government was going to try to stop him and stop him from teaching about the powers of stones. And then I never saw him again, so I don't know what happened. But the stuff that he taught me was really, really neat. But I learned from him that the stones talked to him and told him what they did, which goes back to the shamans of the American Indians and South America, where they would go out and they would talk to the plants and the stones and everything out there, and they would tell them what they were used for and how to use them. I talk to the stones. I hold a stone, I ask it, what do you do? What can you do for me? And it will tell me what it does and how to use it and where to place it. And I don't know how many of you can do this, but I imagine that some of you have this gift and you just are unaware of it. So you might want to check it out. I put it in my left hand for receiving.
And you're just holding the stone, whatever it is.
I hold the stone and I ask it, what can you do for me? And then Carol writes, thank you. Carol writes notes. Now I'm gonna turn you on to something else. This is FES flower essences. These are also tools that I work with. I don't have enough time tonight. I'll have to get into it. When I do my healing workshops, I get into a lot of this more in depth.
And we're working on doing that online.
Yeah, we are. But these are flower essences, and they're in little bottles. And you take 4 drops under the tongue or 5 drops under the tongue, depending upon what they are. And they do amazing things. Just absolutely amazing things. And each one is different. Like bleeding heart, I love bleeding heart. If you're jealous and you can't control your jealousy and you've done the lifting and you're still jealous, you take the bleeding heart and remove jealousy. It's wild. It just eases it. If you have a dog that is grieving and you put 4 drops of bleeding heart in its water, every time you change it, it eases the dog. Or a dog that's like hyper or scared, overreactive.
Both of our dogs were rescue shelter dogs, and the bleeding heart made a world of difference in both of them.
Huge. Yeah, it just calms them right
Will
down.
Willow help calm them too?
Pardon?
Willow?
Willow, I love Willow. If you're like really stressed out and you feel like you're at your breaking point, you take 5 drops of Willow under the tongue, you just smooth right on out there.
It also helps with dementia patients.
Does it?
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that little tip.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Dementia.
I have a whole bottle of Willow at home.
Yeah, okay.
and a glass of water.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
I'm gonna get some bleeding heart tonight. It's a good idea.
Oh, it's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Also, if you've gone through a breakup, you know, you have that hole in your heart, or somebody has passed, you've got that hole in your heart, you take 4 drops of bleeding heart under the tongue 4 times a day for about 10 days, and it does wonders.
eases.
Yeah, just, it fills in that hole in the heart. It's wonderful.
And any questions, also, there's still a few coming on, and when you go back and watch the playback, if you add questions, we will be glad to answer those.
Yeah.
Just give us a few days.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the lifting. Is there anything else I've forgotten anything?
Anything we didn't get to, we will try to get to with Carol and a member of Team Carol and answer everyone's questions.
I hope the sound was better this time.
I think it was a little better, but not great, but I already know the equipment we need, and now I've got the clearance. We're gonna have it next time.
Fabulous. All right, everybody ready?
Yes.
I would please ask the Band of Mercy to remove all unclean spirits, thought forms, elementals, unnamed energies now in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them. And I thank thee. I would please ask the appropriate archangel or angels and the appropriate legions to please remove all demonic entities, energies, influences now in the names of Elohim, El-Jar, Jehovah, Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them. And I thank thee. I would please ask the appropriate archangel or angels and the appropriate legions from the appropriate realms or counter realms to please remove all negative beings, entities, energies, influences now in the names of Insah, Shemhim Farash, Adonai, Shamish, Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and either place them in protected sanctuary or do whatever they deem necessary with them. And I thank thee. I would please ask the Glory Band to remove anything that's attached, affecting, or influencing now, and place them into protected sanctuary in the name of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and I thank thee. I would please ask the Integral Band of Mercy to remove anything that's attached, affecting, or influencing now, and place them into protected sanctuary, or do whatever they deem necessary with them, in the names of Hagoel, Ashalom, and in the name of Jesus Christ, and I thank thee. That was powerful.
Yeah,
That was powerful.
definitely.
Okay, if you want to call for an appointment, call here, area code 501-888-8056. You have a wonderful evening, and may God bless all of you.